Okay. Do I think the Republicans are going to be harmed? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they look like complete asses right now. They look like a bunch of clowns, playing grab ass. Right now it's a Democrat's dream come true. The Republicans are in charge, and they look like they look like they don't even belong there. They can't figure out how to order a sandwich.
Right.
They're getting together like, hey, who wants tuna? Oh, I'm allergic to fish, and then it's just everything collapses from there. They can't even get their damn order right. Like what? Maybe we should have pizza. Like, I'm allergic to bread, and then now they can't figure. I mean, they can't get. Yeah, they're gonna be hurt. They're gonna be hurt.
All right, here we go again.
All right, we're back again. I don't know why, but we're back again. Hopefully, we're going to get better at it this time.
I just want to remind everybody here now that we have a viewer to please.
Hi, Mom.
To please comment or subscribe or like or dislike. Just any kind of interaction would be greatly appreciated. So
Anything that adds to the conversation, right? That's what we're shooting for.
That's it. So thank you in advance. What are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about the Congress and why they don't seem to be able to do anything, even though Republicans have control of everything: House, Senate, presidency, and even some people would say even the judiciary. So Congress has not been able to do anything big.
Congress needs to do their job, and Congress needs to do their job now.
I mean, clearly there's things coming out of Congress, and Donald Trump himself has done as much as he can do through executive action. Like I said before, you've expressed your frustration. I mean, what's the answer? I mean, are Republicans going to... Do you think Republicans are going to get hurt by this in the midterms? Do you think Trump's going to get hurt by this in 4 years? Or do you think people are more practical and understanding? Like for me, like I told you before, I don't expect that much out of Congress. I believe that if you have one signature piece of legislation in 4 years, you've done pretty well. And just even Trump getting Gorsuch into the Supreme Court.
Mr. President, I am honored and I am humbled. Thank you very much.
I think is a pretty big accomplishment. And it might be enough for me to say, hey, you know what, that's good enough for 4 years. But even if, let's say, Congress was able to get together and come up with some really, really good tax plan or a tax tax change in the next during this first term, I think that would be pretty. That would be enough for me to say, hey, you know what, the Republicans did something worthwhile. So I know this is like a multi-layered question, right? But
okay.
What do you think? I mean, do you think Republicans are going to be harmed within the next 2 years? Do you think Trump will be harmed in the next during the next election? And how much do you think is enough for Congress to do in order for them to be able to say, look, we've done something, and you should reelect us.
Okay. Yes. Yes. There's no minimum. Okay. Well, your question was a bit all over the place, a little bit scattershot.
Right.
Okay. Do I think the Republicans are going to be harmed? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they look like complete asses right now. They look like a bunch of clowns, playing grad ass. Right now it's a Democrat's dream come true. The Republicans are in charge, and they look like they look like they don't even belong there. They can't figure out how to order a sandwich.
Right.
They get together like, hey, who wants tuna? Oh, I'm allergic to fish, and then it's just everything collapses from there. They can't even get their damn order right. Maybe we should have pizza. Like, I'm allergic to bread, and then now they can't figure. I mean, they can't get. Yeah, they're gonna be hurt. They're gonna be hurt.
It's kind of like asking your wife what she wants for dinner, right?
My wife's a very decisive woman.
I know this is. I'm going to let you finish your answer, but
Good.
one of the things that really bother me is when you ask somebody, "Hey, so what do you want for dinner?" And the other person says, "Oh, I don't care, whatever." And then you say, "Oh, okay. How about we have Chinese?" And then they say, nah, I don't really feel like Chinese. And then you say, "Well, what about Mexican?" I don't know. It makes me kind of gassy, so probably not. Okay, well, how about Italian? I don't know. I'm not really wanting pasta right now. Okay, so then why don't you decide? Okay, you tell me what you want. That bothers me. Anyway, go ahead.
I see that. Okay.
Doesn't that bother you? It bothers me. I hate that.
No, I'm the guy. Whatever, But when I say what it doesn't matter to me, it really doesn't matter to me because I'm hungry. For me, every second that's ticking by, while we're going round and round about burgers or tacos, it's just me like getting hungry. It's like, damn it, we're gonna have a sandwich and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so back to my answer. Yeah, the Republicans right now are looking like the guy who caught the football and didn't know which way to run, so he just stood there, right?
It's picked up by Jim Marshall, who's running the wrong way. Marshall is running the wrong way, and he's running it into the end zone the wrong way. Thinks he scored a touchdown. He has scored a safety.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
You think so, huh?
If the election rolls around and they don't lose, they don't hemorrhage seats, that will be the closest thing to a mandate I think I've ever seen of the general population going, okay, we're going to give you another chance. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but maybe they'll lose a couple of seats and that'll be fine.
You have to remember.
Yeah.
You have to remember, for one thing, there's another year out, so there's still time. So that's number one. But the other thing is that where are the voters going to turn to? I mean, they're just going to go, oh, you know what? I'm just not voting. I mean,
yeah. You're making a joke. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. People turned out to vote. The same people who just are going to say, "Oh, well, screw it," and they'll go back fishing. They're gonna go back to whatever it was they were doing, and they're not going to go out there, and waste their Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, they will just stay home, and the Democrats will take over. And what's it going to change? Nothing, because that's where we're going anyway. That's what we're doing anyway.
Right.
So
Okay, so
if they can't get it together, they're gonna lose seats. Yeah.
So talk about Trump in 4 years. I mean, give
What
me a
about
prediction. Give me a prediction. Will Republicans get together and do something substantive? Will they be able to have a tax plan? Will they be able to repeal and replace? Will they be able to do something that Trump can say, look, this is our signature law that we did during my first 4 years?
No. No. And no.
So you're really
No.
you're very optimistic, I see.
As long as it's Trump, as long as his name is Trump.
The very name Trump is the cornerstone of his brand. If only there were a way to uncouple that magical word from the man he really is. Well, guess what? There is. Because it turns out the name Trump was not always his family's name. One biographer found that a prescient ancestor had changed it from, and this is true, Drumpf. Yes, King Drumpf. And Drumpf is much less magical.
There's not going to be a unified block behind him. There's going to be obstructionists on both sides, and honestly, I think that you remember Don Quixote.
Yes.
He's tilting at windmills.
Quijada. I am Don Quixote de la Mancha, and no risk is too great for a true knight to take for his
What if he's right? Right? What if Trump is over there? We're all thinking he's Don Quixote, and there he is, having at the windmills. And the truth of the matter is that there's giants there. There really is a beast to be slain. We send him up there with go drain the swamp, and what if the swamp isn't just water? What if the swamp is alive and wants to stay that way? You look at the opposition that it gets from obviously the media. You look at the sheer volume of leaks in everywhere you turn. You look at just the average Joe government worker in Washington, and they are dedicated to obstructing him, blocking him, stopping him, hating him constantly. You know what I mean? It's like large and small. This beast, this humongous, amorphous beast
Tier
that he's been sent there to do battle with. It's bigger than anybody knows. People that are a part of it don't even know that they're a part of it, and it wants to stay alive. It's just like any other organism. It's gonna fight to stay alive, to keep from shrinking, to keep from being damaged, to keep from dying, from going away. I think that he might actually have himself a dragon to fight, while the rest of us are still not believing in dragons.
I've always thought of the government as a beast. And, a lot of people, I've heard the saying, was it starve the beast before? And it's definitely a beast, and it will try to protect itself. absolutely. It is a being that will try to protect itself. So, prediction: will Trump be reelected? If you were to, knowing what you have said,
Right.
where you don't think anything's going to come out substantive from this Congress,
Yeah.
2 years from now, I don't think it's very difficult for me to see the Senate flip in 2 years, because there's way too many contested seats that are being held by Democrats right now.
Do you think it's likely that Democrats can take back Congress in 2018, given where he is now?
I think we have
He
a
being
real
the
shot
president.
at the House.
Yeah.
The Senate is a tough map,
Yeah.
but we have a good shot at the House, so we're working very hard.
For the Senate to flip back to Democrats in 2 years. But what is your prediction as far as House in 2 years? What is your prediction of how many seats will flip in the Senate, positive or negative for Republicans? And what do you think is going to happen to Trump in 4 years?
Well, I think that you're a better scorekeeper as far as the Congress is concerned, House and the Senate. I know you are the one that's really keeping track of it like a scorecard. You treat it more like a sport. I could see you at Buffalo Wild Wings, looking at it all up on the big screen and keeping score, a little abacus or something.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Instead of, you know what? I think they should do that on election night. Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm surprised they don't.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I would enjoy that. But my point is, though, if you have predictions, you're probably going to be a bit more accurate than me. If I was forced to make a prediction, I would say that the House. I'd say the House probably flips.
Wow.
And the Senate, maybe not. I think that a lot of the contested Democrats are going to finally see some victories, because they've been seeing a whole lot of defeat.
House is tough.
I think that's
right?
And before we get into that, I don't want to hit your last question about Trump. And as far as a prediction for Trump, I think Trump defies prediction, and I think that's the best thing about Trump.
Right.
So if it's on a good day, Trump might just take it home.
Right. That is
with
true.
or without landmark legislation. And I think that a lot of things are helping him that nobody would think do. Trump tackling the CNN, that meme. And the CNN blackmail hashtag. Those things help Trump, and I don't know that anybody realizes how well Trump can use these things that seem like to anyone else they would be damaging, and they seem innocuous to Trump, and yet somehow he turns them to his benefit. And I don't think a lot of people can really predict how that can go. I think he really is blazing a new trail, breaking new ground. But you go ahead. You were saying the House was difficult.
Yeah. For the last, at least 10 years, the pundits have been predicting that the House will go Democrat. And it hasn't. And I think that's because if you look at the districts out there, Republicans just dominate. Democrats do well in big cities, but all the rural districts out there are all dominated by Republicans. So, it's difficult. I think Democrats can say, oh, we're really popular right now. Republicans are not popular right now. But those rural districts are never going to vote Democrat. They just won't. So, I mean, how many truly contested House districts are there? Not that many, I don't think. I mean, I think probably out of how many is there? 400 and something. You might get maybe like 50 truly contested ones. So, I mean, I think it's really difficult for Democrats to take control of the House. I mean, it surprises me that Republicans don't have control of Congress, both houses of Congress, all the time. Because if you were to just look at red states versus blue states, I think it's like 3-2 red states to blue states. As far as, I mean, if you look at governorships, if you look at just percentage of registered voters. So why red states vote for Democrat senators, I never understood that. So to me, it feels as though Democrats have an uphill battle when it comes to Congress. They can win the presidency, but as far as Congress goes, it always feels to me like they have an uphill battle.
Maybe so. I just don't. I don't see anything good coming out of it, and it is my frustration, and I completely. I completely am frustrated. It bothers me that they can't come up with little things. You're talking about signature legislation, and you're talking about someone's legacy. You're talking about how it's all, how will history remember it? And I think sometimes you got to step away from what your legacy is going to be and what history is going to be, and just do your damn job. And I think that that's what they need to do. They need to agree on what can they do. And really, I think the Republicans can agree on things that they don't like. I think they should find the things that they want to get rid of, and get rid of them. Things that they can stand by and say, look, things they can hold up back at their own home district and tell the people, hey, this is the stupid crap that's been going on in Washington, and we fixed it. I got rid of this, I got rid of that, I got rid of this, I got rid of that. Vote for me. You're right. There's a lot of red districts out there, and there's a lot of them that are, you can stir up the base by just saying, hey, we saved a few $100 million here, a few $100 million there. Right. Yeah, that may not be a drop in the bucket when we're talking about literally trillions of dollars, but it does mean something. It means you're doing something. That's what you were sent there to do. Let's see.
All right. I think we can just leave it at that for today, and come up with some kind of. Did we come up with a
sign off? Adios, muchacho. I don't think that's the way to go, man.
We can do like a different language every day until we figure out one. Like today we can do German. Auf Wiedersehen.
Is it Auf Wiedersehen?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Is it just me, or does German sound like dominant whenever you speak it? It's
It's aggressive. It's an aggressive language.
It is aggressive, yes.
Right. But it could just be the movies that we watch, right? Because it seems like in every movie we watch, they're always shouting Achtung everywhere, It's Schnell, It's Schnell! Schnell! I mean, how many like German rom-coms have you seen? You know, there's not too many. They got to be out there, right?
They're probably in German, which is why I've never watched them.
And I'm not in love with German opera either. So I mean, there's something.
You don't
about
like
it.
Dick Wagner? He's so cool.
Or Wolfie.
Wolfie?
All right. All right. So, just want to remind everybody, if you have something to say, go ahead and comment and subscribe, like, dislike, whatever. Any kind of interaction would be appreciated.
Yeah, we definitely need to interact with our viewer.
Until next time.
All right. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.